Be careful who you count out for this season.
Tonight, we play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs taking on the NFC champions, the Detroit Lions.
There are quite a few sleeper teams that might just surprise you come January. Here are 8 overlooked NFL teams that could shock the world by winning Super Bowl 58 this season. Detroit Lions. The Lions exceeded expectations last season by finishing 9-8. They only missed out on the postseason because of a tiebreaker to Geno Smith's Seattle Seahawks. And trust us, that was only the start of something special under Dan Campbell's leadership. Detroit surrendered the most yards and ranked 30th against the pass last year. Brad Holmes wasted no time addressing that, signing 2 quality corners in Cameron Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley, and do-it-all safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson. With his second-round pick, Holmes snagged Alabama safety Brian Branch, adding yet even more depth to the secondary. Aiden Hutchinson is sure to continue improving following a stellar rookie year. Ditto for linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez. And though we think Jack Campbell is a huge reach in round 1, the rookie can only improve one of the league's worst linebacker units in 2022. And then there's the offense. Jared Goff looked like his old self last season, captaining the 5th best scoring offense. Losing Jamison Williams for 6 games to suspension hurts, but Goff has a certified star in Amon-Ra St. Brown. The thing is, Goff won't have to be great for Detroit to have a chance. Being behind one of the league's elite offensive lines, the dynamic running back duo of David Montgomery and rookie Jahmyr Gibbs should be able to carry the workload offensively. Throw in the fact that Aaron Rodgers is out of the NFC North once and for all, and the division is there for the Lions taking. But if they sneak into the playoffs, of course these Lions could get hot and go on a run that culminates with the franchise's first ever Super Bowl. Denver Broncos. Yes, we know. Russell Wilson's first year with the Broncos was a colossal failure. They finished dead last in scoring offense, and no QB was sacked more than Wilson, who was brought down 55 times despite missing 2 games. Well, all the Broncos did this year was swamp out a not-so-qualified head coach in Nathaniel Hackett for Sean Payton. You know, the guy who's probably the second-best offensive coach of his era behind only Andy Reid. There's just no way Wilson can be as bad as he was in 2022. In fact, we expect to return to his Pro Bowl-like form with the future Canton member now calling the shots on offense. Not to mention rising star running back Javonte Williams is healthy, and that the Broncos signed Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey to fix up that leaky O-line. And with Pat Surtain II and Justin Simmons leading the way, the Broncos should have something close to a top 10 defense in 2023. It's easy to write off the Broncos after last year's disaster, especially with Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes residing in that division. But if Payton can restore Wilson's magic and confidence, the Broncos could have both a top 10 offense and defense this season. And last time we checked, that right there is a recipe for a Super Bowl contender. Tennessee Titans. It's safe to say that the Titans would have won the AFC South last season if Ryan Tannehill didn't miss 5 games, because boy was it hard to watch Malik Willis and Josh Dobbs fill in behind center for him. The Titans' once promising season ended with a 7-game losing streak, allowing the Jacksonville Jaguars to snag the AFC South Division crown. It's easy to rule out the Titans, given that this is an aging core that doesn't seem to have the star power to keep pace with the top AFC heavyweights. But let's not forget that Tannehill is a more than steady option at QB when healthy, as evidenced by his 36-19-0 record and 100.5 QB rating as a Titan. Tennessee still has only a top 3 running back in the game in Derrick Henry, who should once again contend for the rushing crown. Wide receiver was a real problem last season, but the Titans went out and signed 5-time Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins to a 2-year deal, giving Tannehill an explosive playmaker and game changer in the passing game. And if 2022 first-rounder Treylon Burks can get healthy, well, the Titans just might have one of football's best receiving tandems in 2023. Tennessee's stacked front 7 added Arden Key and brings back star Harold Landry, who missed all of last year. Kevin Byard remains the heart and soul of the secondary, but free agent signing Sean Murphy-Bunting, one of football's premier slot corners, will help plenty there as well. And what if 2021 first-rounder Caleb Farley finally gets healthy? And what if sophomore Roger McCreary improves from a rough rookie year? We could be looking at one of the game's best all-around defenses here in 2023. Like the Lions, the Titans will continue to try and win the old-school way with a ground-and-pound offense and a hard-hitting, wear-you-down defense. This time, though, they have Hopkins to help out the passing game. Count them out at your own risk, because the Titans could totally shock the world and win a Super Bowl championship here in 2023. Los Angeles Rams. It's too easy to write off the Rams given the disaster that unfolded last season, but we shall remind you that they still employ a top 10 head coach, the league's best defensive player, and, when healthy, a top 5 QB receiver duo. Last season, the Rams went 5-12, the most losses ever for a defending Super Bowl champion. But let's remember that Matthew Stafford only played 9 games and was never really close to 100% in the contests he did suit up for. Reigning Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp was also limited to 9 games. Van Jefferson, who had 802 receiving yards in 2021, missed 6 contests. Franchise star Aaron Donald also missed 6 games, and the usually stout Rams O-line allowed a whopping 59 sacks. Yes, the Rams lost Jalen Ramsey, Leonard Floyd, and Bobby Wagner this offseason, but second-year corner Kobe Durant looks ready to break out following a stellar rookie year, and rookies Byron Young and Kobe Turner could and should make immediate impacts in the front 7. Again, write the Rams off at your own risk, but as long as they have McVay and as long as the core 3 are at full strength, this team could totally regain its 2021 swagger and claim a second Super Bowl in 3 years. Washington Commanders. Step 1 for the Commanders winning a Super Bowl, somehow getting Dan Snyder to sell the team. Oh hey, look at that, mission accomplished, so hey, that part's done, easy peasy. With the worst sports owner of all time finally gone, Commanders staffers, coaches, and fans can all be thankful that they're now led by Josh Harris, someone who actually cares about building a winner. Last season, the Commanders went 8-8-1 in a brutal NFC East that produced 3 playoff teams. That was largely thanks to a defense that finished 3rd in yards allowed per contest and 7th in scoring. Terry McLaurin was his usual dominant self on offense, while Curtis Samuel, Antonio Gibson, and Brian Robinson Jr. all put up over 800 yards of offense. And despite missing 5 games, rookie Jahan Dotson tied Christian Watson for the most receiving TDs among rookies with 7. So the Commanders actually have a pretty loaded offensive arsenal here, and if second-year QB Sam Howell isn't ready for the starting job, well, Ron Rivera can turn to Jacoby Brissett, one of the league's best backup QBs. You can easily sleep on the Commanders simply because of the division they play in, but this is a championship-caliber defense that could be even scarier with a healthy Chase Young. If Howell or Brissett can provide average to above-average production at QB, the Commanders could very well get hot and go on a run like the 2000 Baltimore Ravens or 07 New York Giants and win it all. New York Giants. It might feel a bit weird putting a team that reached the Elite 8 a year ago on this list, but it still feels like the Giants aren't getting quite enough respect. Yes, they play in the unforgiving NFC East, consisting of 2 conference juggernauts in the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles, and no, they do not have the most loaded roster in football. But you know what the Giants do have? Great coaching. And they also got a top 5 running back in the game, and a vastly improved offensive unit, and a defense that could make the jump to a top 5 unit in 2023. Brian Daboll turned Daniel Jones into a star after 3 sluggish seasons to begin his career, and this was with Darius Slayton leading the Giants' pass catchers with 724 receiving yards. Joe Shane added 3 new weapons for Jones in the passing game: Pro Bowl tight end Darren Waller, ex-Indianapolis Colts wideout Paris Campbell, and Tennessee speedster Jalen Hyatt in the 3rd round. So Jones should be even better in 2023 than he was last season, and 2022 Daniel Jones was still pretty dang good. And Saquon Barkley, as we were reminded last season, is a complete game wrecker with the ball in his hands. That won't change as long as he's healthy. The front 7 is loaded with Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Azeez Ojulari leading the way. Andrew Jackson, Xavier McKinney, and rookie Deontay Banks headline a more than serviceable secondary. So, provided that Jones shows that last year wasn't a fluke, these G-men will be dangerous on both sides of the ball. They embraced the underdog mentality in year 1 under Daboll and will be motivated to take the next step here in 2023. Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers won 9 games last year and only missed it on the postseason via tiebreaker to the Miami Dolphins. So why do we have a team who hasn't had a losing season since 2003 on this list? Well, it's not like the Steelers are getting a lot of love here. They're being overshadowed by the Cincinnati Bengals and Baltimore Ravens in the AFC North. Well, Pitt won 9 games last year with Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky combining for 11 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Pickett, entering his 2nd year, can only improve after an up-and-down rookie campaign. Pickett has 1K rusher Najee Harris, 1K receiver Deontay Johnson, plus rising star George Pickens and underrated tight end Pat Freiermuth as his weapons. Throw in the arrival of rookie Broderick Jones on that O-line, and there are no clear-cut weaknesses in this offense. Furthermore, the Steelers have the makings of a top 5 defense with TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward, and Alex Highsmith leading a scary front 7. The already dangerous secondary added Patrick Peterson to complement all-world safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. And you know, that's kind of unfair. If Pittsburgh can go 9-8 with a below-average QB, imagine what they can do if Pickett improves even just a little bit in 2023. And with a deep set of playmakers on both sides of the ball, Mike Tomlin's squad is absolutely capable of getting their hands on the Lombardi Trophy next year. Green Bay Packers. We've been heavily critical of the Packers' decision to trade Aaron Rodgers, but maybe, just maybe, it'll end up being the right decision. Jordan Love has just one NFL start under his resume, but you know what? Maybe learning behind Rodgers for 3 years will have him more than ready for the NFL. Rodgers himself got to learn behind Brett Favre for 3 years before taking over the offense in Titletown. We also need to semi-trust a young, innovative, offensive-minded head coach like Matt LaFleur to make it work with Love. I mean, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and rookie Jaden Reed look like they could all be big-time pass catchers. Also, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are only a top 3 rushing duo in the league, both capable of pushing for 1,000 yards. And Love will enjoy playing behind one of the game's best O-lines, led by Elton Jenkins and David Bakhtiari. The Packers' D is also scary from top to bottom. Jair Alexander is a top 5 corner, and Darnell Savage and Rasul Douglas provide sufficient depth in the secondary. The front 7 is also loaded with ultra-athletic and speedy pass rushers and linebackers. This roster is a lot more talented than you think, and the NFC North Division is wide open. If Love can even play like a game manager, the Pack can lean on their rushing game and star-studded defense to close out contests. Bring home Lombardi Trophy number 5. But which other NFL teams could shock the world by winning Super Bowl 58? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.